Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful sunshiny day at 10 o'clock on March 5th, and I'm still over here at Mom's. I might be here for a bit there. She's in the hospital, but she's doing better. She has congestive heart failure. But on good news note that now that they understand what she has, it has been affecting her, the swelling in her legs, her ankles, inflammation. She hasn't been able to walk good. So honestly, I'm more grateful to receive the news than I am disappointed, because at least they can address this issue to the degree that they can, and it's going to be better than it was, I feel. So thank you for all your prayers out there. We're going to start the meditation. Just turned 10:01. We'll start the meditation in 1 minute. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Wow, 10:02 already. I swear that just came up so fast. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's see. First of all, I'm in South Haven, Michigan, over visiting my mom's. It's a beautiful, sunshiny day over here, and I'm just feeling grateful. And I think, I don't even want to say the word think. I feel grateful because just feel like as I continue to let go of my attachments and desires of how my mind thinks life should look and what my mind thinks happiness is, and I just have trust and faith in life and in God, there's nothing to fight against anymore, and there's only that gratitude that's left for what God gives us. Even those things that the mind would judge as bad, we see that it is all exactly where it needs to be, and there's just something so beautiful and perfect and freeing about that as well. So thank you for joining this morning. I really appreciate it. Let's meditate. So just getting yourself nice and comfortable. Thank you for being here. I know most of you that join me for the meditation. There'll be some people on the video as well. I don't mind saying this to even the people that I don't know that join this video. I love you and I'm grateful for you. The fact that you're here to explore something deeper, something profound, something that is beyond anything that you have described yourself to be. Something that is not a belief or an idea, but something that is beyond all the things physically, mentally, emotionally, and even your ideas of what spirituality is. It's just something beyond it all. It's true spirituality at its purest form, just the pure beingness of who you are. So just taking in a nice deep breath. And just really letting go, and emptying yourself out of any troubles, any worries, any stress at all. And just letting go of all the past. I really mean all of it too. I'm not just saying that. I know we all do meditations and they say let go of the past. I really mean to let go of all the past. Just at least for this meditation, and if you want to pick it up afterwards, feel free to do so. But at least for this meditation, just let go of all the past. And the past is all your past memories, all your past beliefs, all is certainly all the shame and guilt and blame that you have accumulated of yourself and others over the years. And right now, it's even beyond forgiveness. It's just letting go of all the past. And A Course in Miracles actually speaks of forgiveness as the one illusion that it supports. the one illusion that supports. Why? Because the practice of forgiveness is just, it's a practice of letting go of our self-righteousness. It's a practice of letting go of our judgment and our blame. And the more we practice it either with others, well, if we practice it with others, then we learn to let go and forgive ourselves, so that we simply carry an attitude of forgiveness, an attitude of just letting go whatever comes up. And it's so helpful. Laura, my wife, and I went through a period of time where we were just blaming each other for so much. It truly, to me, was the worst time in our marriage, because there's no winning with that. There's no winning when we're thinking that we're right and they're wrong. It's total separation is all it brings. And I have somebody dear in my life that is always judging others. And it's okay. I love them and accept them. And it's hard for me to watch, because what I was sharing with them is that, I know what judgment feels like, and I know what love and acceptance feels like. Why would I ever want to choose judgment? And judgment is of the mind. That's simply what the mind does. It judges. It makes an analysis and an evaluation to say this is good and this is bad. And so based on this being good and this is bad, then we begin to all of a sudden establish all these ideas and self-images of who we are, because the mind evaluates and says, well, you did really good on that one. You're a pretty good person, but over here, no, you failed that. And so that means, therefore, in this experience, since you failed it, it means you're not a very patient person. And it begins to come up with all these stories and ideas that we buy into, that we identify with as the truth. And it's that thing that we identify with that blocks us from recognizing the peace, joy, love, and truth that we already are. And that is our separation from ourselves. That is our separation from God. And all these stories and ideas that we have accumulated over the years as to who we think we are, that people call the person. The person. And I've been going over this a lot lately, because I really just want us to be so clear that we have nothing to do with this thing called the person or the personality. It is that very thing, that very idea that keeps us from seeing and being the very truth of who we are. I don't even want to say seeing, because your true self can't be seen. Anything that you can actually see is not who you are. And the one who cannot be seen is the witness to everything that can be seen or perceived or felt or the thoughts. I've also been exploring a lot with that I am not the doer. You are not the doer. And I'm still sorting through this one to a certain degree. The words that come through me, I do my best to get out of the way, whether I know this lesson or don't know this lesson, to speak from as deep of a truth as I can, that's as deeply rooted and connected with God and my true self as much as I can. And I recognize that I still have certain beliefs that I carry, but I also recognize who I am, at least to a certain degree, and that degree is really connecting with the pure, empty, conscious awareness that doesn't require and is not anything to do with any form, any shape, anything physical whatsoever. And so I do my best to speak from this place. And quite honestly, it's easier to speak from this place with my eyes closed, where I don't have external ammunition for the mind. And it's easier to speak from this place just by giving this over to God, and to trust and have faith that what needs to be expressed through God, through its consciousness, can hopefully shine through me in a pure and gentle, peaceful, loving way. My mind has gotten busy with my I'm going to say my sugar addiction, and I'm saying that from an awareness point of view, that when I'm not being conscious and aware, and I'm rooted in my person rather than my core essence, then my person still identifies with that I am a sugar addict. And I sound like I'm at a 12-step meeting, right? But a little sidebar. Sugar is, they did a study on it with mice, and they found that sugar is actually 8 to 10 times more addictive than cocaine. So it is real, and honestly, for me, the consequences have been really, I'm going to actually say dangerous at times. Dangerous at times, because I have been told by Spirit that there's certain things that could awaken within me. I've been through cancer before. I've been through a lot of different illnesses before, much of which came from my sugar addiction. So I don't take this lightly, and yet I also recognize that this too is just a thought. It's just a belief. And that's one of the reasons I love doing meditation, because it helps me to return home to who I am, the one that can just simply observe this thought that I am a sugar addict. Okay, thanks for sharing. Come back to the moment. I shouldn't have eaten that piece of cherry cake last night. Okay, thanks for sharing. Let me come back to the moment. I had a dream this morning where I saw a bunch of berries that I spilled on the ground, on the floor, and I started to clean them up. And because I had made a mess with the berries. And in this case, it was the cherry berry, because I had a piece of cherry cake last night, which was fantastic, by the way. And so in my dream, the berries spilled on the floor, and before I started to sweep them up. Before I could clean them up, water began to accumulate in the room, and then there became this big pond. And in this pond, there was these. It started to grow. Fish and alligators. And I just want to share the metaphors of this, that for me, water has always been spirituality. And when I'm being flooded with spirituality, it's because I'm not able to process it and take it in and work and just allow it to be a part of me, because I'm in blame, judgment, guilt of myself in some way. And so consequently, I'm not able to fully deal with what God gives me, the love, the compassion, the grace, because I'm too in my head and I'm not receiving what's being brought to me. And so the fish have always represented the metaphor, oh, I caught a big one. That has always been a healing for me. When I catch a big fish, there has been a wonderful healing that has taken place. And of course, the alligators are a bit obvious. Those are the things snapping at us, which, by the way, is the mind and me snapping at myself that I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? Notice the I. Why did I do that? As if It was the I who did it. So I love the book by my teacher, Sadashiva, that is called Enlightenment. And at the end of the book, he talks about something that I don't know how much justice I can do it, but I'm going to just give this over to Sadashiva and God right now and see if the words will shine through to explain this. One of the things that Sadashiva says is that we get to a point where we recognize that we are not the thinker, we are not the feeler, we are not the perceiver, and we are not the doer. We are not the thinker, perceiver, feeler, or doer. That there's this force, these forces out there that are actually bringing these things to us. And they're bringing these things to us in a way that is all supporting us in our awakening. Now, some people would say, the virus, global warming, climate change, economic disaster are not supporting us in our awakening. But I would say I have never been more at peace. I have never been more grateful. I have never been more rooted in the truth of who I am because COVID came along. That is my truth. And so I lost my job, but I gained teaching meditation 6 days a week. All of a sudden, I'm being taken care of by unemployment and stimulus checks and different funds that have come in. And maybe some people have judgment that I'm unemployment for a year. For me, I just feel that God is taking care of me. I'm playing my part. And that is doing what God is asking me to do. And that is leading meditation during the week and speaking on the weekends. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely see the divine perfection of it all. So even climate change that has, from my person, has been one of the biggest concerns I had, that I still see is something that brings me to either one, be trapped in the worry and the concern of it, or two, be mindful of all the thoughts and beliefs that my mind is conjuring up. If we go along, if we're walking along in life and everything is just status quo, we could very easily just remain in status quo as a person. But life and God come around, and it feels like we're getting slapped around a bit, right? It's like, what is all this craziness going on? And yet what feels like being slapped around a bit is actually God giving us exactly what we need to bring us back to a place of mindfulness, of awareness, of consciousness, to return home to who we are. So what we judge as being picked on or slapped around, God is right there on our side saying, I'm with you. I have never left you. I 100% support you, but it's not enough for you to be the person. That's not enough. I want to lead you home that you can return to that place of peace and joy and love that you already are. And you don't need to earn it. You don't need to save the world. You don't need to be successful. You don't need to be worthy. These are all stories of the mind and the ego. All of them, and the person. I can't tell you how much I love this. Love it, love it, love it. I love what I get to do. I get to be, I hesitate to use the word channel sometimes, but it feels right in this moment. I'm grateful that I get to be a channel of God flowing through me, God as me, and me as this core truth of who I am. In my prayers, I ask for God to shine through me, but my prayer is to God, may I speak, may I lead, and may I be rooted in the truth of who I am for this meditation. Because I see more and more that I am enough. That I am enough. Because I am rooted and aligned with God. And so if I'm rooted in the core truth of who I am, it is enough to allow these beautiful words to flow through, just as it is for you. Nobody is more special than another. I feel like Jesus has communicated this in so many different ways. But he has been glorified. And it's okay. I don't actually have any judgment with that because Jesus is, how do I say this without feeling a little bit sacrilegious or something? I don't know. So let me just speak without having my filters. In fact, Jesus, I would ask if your words would shine through this. I would gratefully appreciate that right now. And here's what I hear. Here's what, it's not even a hearing, it's just, here's what feels, I'm going to just get out of the way, my personality out of the way, and let the words flow through. I don't want you to worship me, because by you worshiping me, it's making it sound like you are less than me. Everything that I have done is for you to realize that you and I are both one with the Father. We're one with the Father. Yes, I and the Father are one. That is absolutely true. But it's also true that you and the Father are one. And as this channel has said before, it actually says that in the Bible. In what you use as scripture, it says that you and the Father are also one. And have I not told you that you can do all things I have done and even greater things? Have I not also told you that the kingdom of God is at hand? Don't look to me as something greater than you. You can look to me for love, for blessings and support, and I am with you 100%. To the degree that you call to me will be to the degree that I support you. But don't look to me as if I am better than you. And I know, based on so much Christian religious teachings, that sounds almost like that you are doing something bad or wrong. I'm inviting you to let that go and just return home to the truth of who you are, that is in perfect alignment with God and as God. You are enough. You have never been not enough. So I'm going to just return back to just allowing whatever needs to flow through me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, beloved teacher. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Even when I speak, my prayers have Jesus in it, my teacher Sadashiva, as well as my teacher Muji Baba, and of course our beloved Creator. And the angels, the teachers, the guides, the fairies, all of those are in my prayer every single morning. And I say that because when I do my prayers, I say to Jesus, to Muji Baba, to Sadashiva, I always refer to them as my brother. And when I say, thank you for joining, Jesus, thank you, my brother, there's still a tinge of me that I can connect with from my person that says, is Jesus really my brother? And is that trying to boost myself up to Jesus's world, to Jesus's level? And so it stirs up things. Wonderful. let it stir the pot. Let it stir the pot of where I'm identifying with and see what comes up. I'm going to continue to explore with it until one way or another I have clarity, either that I need to worship Jesus or I need to let go of that and just allow Jesus to be my spiritual brother. Yes, my teacher and confidant and my healer and so many things, but he is my brother. We're all brothers and sisters in the eyes of God. We were all created in the likeness and the image of God, and we are all one with God, and we all, from our core truth, live as God. And maybe that even sounds a little bit blasphemous as well. And it's okay. Just continue to notice those thoughts. And it's okay to be uncomfortable with it. In fact, you don't even have to believe me what I'm saying. And to take it another level, in fact, I don't even want you to believe me. I just want you to be present and aware whatever presents itself. Whether it's uncomfortableness, whether you have blame or judgment for me even saying this, it's all perfect. Just simply be aware of your thoughts and let them go and just see where it takes you. Maybe you'll come to a point to say, Brett, that no good son of a, it's okay. Wherever this takes you, it's perfect. I don't have any attachment to where this takes you. I just am here to bring up stuff that can be let go of, and it brings stuff to the surface that if you are not rooted in peace, in joy and love, and it stirs the pot of stress and struggle and stirs the pot of, even frustration or anger, then I have done my job. I have done my job, because if there is anything other than peace, joy, and love, then there is something in you that is asking to be healed, something in you that is identifying with the person as if it's the truth. And that's what stress is. Stress is identifying with a person in some way with some false belief. And life and God come along and give you something that feels like it's slapping around, but in truth, it's never slapping you around. It is simply there to bring to your awareness, your conscious awareness of something that is not in full alignment with the truth of who you are. This is all good and beautiful stuff. It is so good. And I don't say that from an ego point of view. I honestly say that because I know that it's just words from consciousness, from God flowing through. And it's all great. So now I want to return full circle. I want to return full circle to what my teacher taught in the Enlightened book called the three gunas. That's the Sanskrit word guna. And so, from a perspective of when you recognize that you are not the thinker, you are not the feeler, you are not the perceiver, and you are not the doer, then, as Sadashiva says in his book, the question naturally arises, if I am not those things, then who is it that's bringing those things? And there's three things that he describes. And Sadashiva, I just ask that you help me to reflect true on your words, please. The first word is sattva. And sattva is the guna that comes along and has is the yang energy. Excuse me, let that go. Sattva is the energy that is the darkness, the negativity, and comes along and brings you some challenges that feel like challenges. So sattva is the energy to stir the pot of struggle, of stress, of worries. And it's this thing that we need. We need these things because, again, if we were simply content with our lives, we would just continue living as a person and not as the core essence and the God essence of who we are. So that is sattva. And so what the second guna is called tamas. And tamas is this energy of health and support and feeling that you are just returning to a place of gratitude and joy and peace and love. And that is sattva, or that is tamas. I'm trying not to get in my head too much on this because I really don't know these very well. The last guna is called rajas. And rajas is kind of a balance between the two. And so these three gunas are always bringing to your life what is needed. So because sattva is more of the dark energy, which is needed, is necessary for your awakening, you have a lot of crazy thoughts that don't feel supportive, thoughts that are rooted in judgment and blame and guilt and shame, all the lower three chakras. And so when you continue to move through those, and by the way, what Sadashiva also says is Jesus comes along and is actually the destroyer of your old beliefs, the destroyer of the person, of the ego, of all these self-images that you have held onto as to who you are. So Jesus comes around and he is the representative of the Son, because the three gunas are representative of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And so Jesus is the destroyer of the old thoughts. And the Holy Spirit is the one that comes along who is supportive of everything that is flowing to you and feeling the joy, the gratitude, and the peace. And Father is the Rajas, returning home to bring balance to it all between the darkness and the light, and to experience the everything in the infinite of who you are. So I share this with you because it's important to help your mind to come to a place of peace, that how can I not be the thinker, the feeler, the perceiver, the doer? How can I not be those things? So Sadashiva shares these three gunas to help you to recognize that God is in this play of life with everything, bringing you exactly what you need, the sattva, the tamas, the rajas, that is giving you what you need. And I am just sharing this with you so that you can see that you are none of those things, the thinker, the feeler, the perceiver, or the doer. You are the one that is a witness to all of them. You are a witness to the thinker. You are a witness to the feeler. You are a witness to the perceiver. And you are a witness to the doer. In the true core essence of who you are simply pure beingness. You are none of those things. You are not doing the thinking. You are not feeling. You are not perceiving. And you are not taking any action. You are simply pure, still, silent awareness. Consciousness itself. And that's why perhaps it helps some part of you to understand, even though this isn't about understanding, I'm helping you to move beyond anything that the mind can understand so that you can have a direct experience of who you are, so that you don't have to believe anything that I say. You say instead, I feel this. Not even feel this, I am this. I am aware of this. I'm aware of the pure isness, the pure beingness of who I am. That is beyond anything mental, physical, or emotional. And that is true spirituality itself. We talk about the body, the mind, the spirit, and how they all work together. But ultimately, some people talk about religion and spirituality, even if they don't consider themselves spiritual, when you transcend the body and the mind, the spirit is left, and by definition you are spiritual. When you transcend the mind and the body, that's what remains, the spiritual perfect truth of who you are. I'm not sure. Feels like there's some words on the tip of my tongue. I want to acknowledge that as I was speaking of the three gunas, I could feel myself looking to my memory, which, by the way, is of the mind, true memory that is stored in the cosmos, in God, in the universe, is beyond anything mental. I could feel my attachment to sharing the three gunas, and consequently I could also feel myself leaning on looking to memory of the mind to regurgitate what I had read. So I just need to be honest with you that I don't know that I was fully able to get my person out of the way in sharing that. I can tell you for sure that the three gunas I had right. The three gunas are sattva, tamas, and rajas. I can also tell you that the sattva is the darker energy and coming in with the frustrations, the disappointment, and all the things that we kind of struggle with. I can also tell you that the tamas comes in. I feel like I need to let this go. I feel like I need to let this go and see if it comes back. I've given you what the three gunas are. I've given you what the three gunas do and how they are part of your life, and that is accurate. There's a darkness that you experience, there's the lightness that you experience, and there's the balance that you experience. I feel like I don't want to get caught in the names. I just want you to understand that these forces are here to support you in returning home to who you are. And I feel like that is crisp and clean, and that is enough. Nothing needs to be said beyond that. So as far as the labels and all that go, let's just all let that go. You hopefully you get what I'm sharing with the three gunas and the forces that they bring into your world, and to help you to comprehend that you are not the thinker, the feeler, perceiver, and the doer. And these three gunas help you to comprehend, to understand what that truth is, so that you can let go of looking to those things as a person, that you are not that. I can also tell you that they're involved with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And those are all working to our favors. Every single one of them are working to our favor, to help us to destroy the old idea of who we think we are. In other words, the ego, the person, so that the true you can be revealed, can be discovered, and you can have that recognition that you have always been that truth. And I can feel a little bit of the struggle of my person wanting to make sure that I got this right, so I had certain attachments and certain agendas of how I'm going to say I as the person, wanted this to flow. And because the person got in the way of this, it wasn't as crisp and clean in some part of it that it could be. But again, it's crisp and clean as far as the three gunas and what the three gunas do, so that we can have a deeper recognition that we are not those things. Let's just leave it at that. I like to be honest with you in how my person sometimes infiltrates of the situation, and so that you can just be aware of it for yourself, that you can continue just to watch all of this. But also, what's true is, again, I say this sincerely, I don't want you to believe me with any of this. I'm just sharing this as a way of helping you to explore, and in that exploration, finding out what not only feels true, but is true for you. Okay, I feel like that's enough words. And I will say this, that I feel Spirit's love for me right now, because they see that I'm getting caught in the person, and to remind myself that it's okay. It really is okay, and that just because I did a certain responded in a certain way with the three gunas, it doesn't diminish me. It doesn't make me less than. It doesn't mean I'm unworthy. It doesn't mean any of those things that are so-called bad. In fact, I can use this as a tool to see how I still diminish myself and beat myself up in certain ways when I'm not doing what I think I should do. But who is the doing the doing? Who is the doing? It's not me. It's my person coming in here, and it's the one of the gunas coming in here that is giving me exactly what I need. Remember what Sadashiva says, there is not one single hair out of place in the universe. It's all exactly what it needs. And I'm happy to be an example of how we get pulled back into the person, and how we want to look to the mind and the memories for the answers, and how, I'm trying to pull back my memories of the book, rather than letting go of the memories and just letting Sadashiva shine through, and his words, his expression. And I don't even have to let Sadashiva shine through. Just the very pure truth of who I am shine through is enough, is everything that's needed. So I can tell you that noticing the stress, being aware of it, feeling loved and supported, it's all absolutely perfect, as are you. So just coming home back to the present moment. Just being aware of your breath. Maybe you want to be aware of the silence, be aware of the stillness. Don't try to still yourself. Don't try to be silent. You are simply the one who is aware of it all, aware of the three gunas, and aware of the thoughts, aware of the breath, aware of the silence, aware of the stillness. You are simply silent, pure awareness, pure isness, pure stillness. That's the truth of who you are. And so whatever your focal point is, just allow yourself to be in that energy as the awareness of who you are. And if your mind is drifted, just coming back to the pure, sweet, perfect you that you are, not as a person, but as the pure emptiness, as the pure nothingness, as the pure, formless, non-physical, conscious awareness that you are, the witness to it all. And if your mind has drifted, just simply coming back to being aware of your breath, the stillness, the silence, the pure isness of who you are, whatever that focal point is for you, just returning home back to the present moment. And just coming back home to who you are, being aware, just sitting in the isness, the stillness, the silence. And of course, if your mind gets busy, just simply notice the thought and come back to being aware in whatever awareness focal point you're using. as you're sitting here in the meditation, if there's any boredom, if there's any restlessness, if there's any stress or anything whatsoever, it means that it's our resistance to life in some way. And just want to bring your awareness to it. There's nothing bad or wrong about that. Just simply notice it. And that's why we keep practicing. Even the thought that I'm bored or I'm restless, just letting those thoughts go as well. Ultimately, it's just all thoughts and believing the thoughts that would block us from just sitting here through eternity in peace and stillness. The only thing that would block us is some kind of belief or resistance to the perfection of this moment. So we're going to begin to bring this meditation to completion. If you'd like to stay in this energy, please feel free to mute or turn your device off and continue meditating. Part of me was feeling like I could just sit here and just be in this for a while. But there's something calling me out right now. So thank you so much for those who are going to meditate longer and turn this device off. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you who are going to finish right now, just taking in a nice deep breath. Just energizing this physical body, making sure you're rooted and grounded in it. Jesus said, be in this world, but not of it. So if we're here, let's be in it. Be in our bodies and experience what we need to experience through the three gunas, and continue to know and trust and have faith that we are being well taken care of at all times, as the thinker, as the feeler, as the perceiver, and as the doer. Those energies coming through, all here to serve us, to help us to return home. And so just stretching a little bit, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Oh, wow. Well, that was good. Let's see. Let me see here. I know there's somebody on YouTube. There's not that now, so won't worry about that. A little bit. And whenever you're ready. There we go. Sorry. Michelle. Thank you, Brett. Prayers to your mama, you and the family. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. And I know there's somebody else out there. If you want to say hi, you can. If not, no worries at all. So I'll leave it up just a moment. Also, if there's any comments or questions as well. And I think that is about it. I am going to go over to YouTube because Sandy may have left a comment over there. And she did. There is so much food for thought here. And yes, the virus provided an opportunity for us to slow down, breathe, and hear the silence. Glad you enjoyed your cherry cake. Right. Thanks, Sandy. I didn't see Sandy here. Are you here, Sandy? Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. So, in any case, thanks for the love, Michelle. I don't know if that was from you or who the love's coming from on Facebook. So thank you guys. Have a beautiful day. Hope you're getting some sunshine over your way. So enjoy the day, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye bye.